Hey there and welcome back to South Park: The Stick of Truth. My name is Pete and today we complete the Alien Abduction quest. In the last episode we completed pretty much everything there is to do on day 1 in South Park, however we did not go to bed yet. That is what we're going to do today, and well, the video title already gives it away, we won't exactly have a full night's sleep.
Good night, little man. I hope you're as happy as we are. Everything is going to be better now that we're in this quiet little mountain town.
I'm having the dream again. Okay, dreaming.
What's happening?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, can we try the big silver one again? Oh.
Is this your first time getting probed? Yeah, it's a pain, but this is the kind of stuff you put up with living in a remote little mountain town. At least we don't have to deal with traffic. Hey, you broke free! Kid, you have an incredible control of your asshole. Get me loose too! Wow, look at that! You must have broke off part of the probe and now you can control it with your sphincter muscle. I'm surrounded by some kind of force field. Go find a way to shut it off. When you break me free, I can show you how to get off the ship.
Alright, finally a bit of time to talk here. As you can see, we have just been abducted by aliens, and we're not the only ones. And not only that, we have also received an alien probe. And that probe is incredibly useful because we can now use it to teleport, at least whenever we have one of those alien receiver figures nearby. Our goal here is now, of course, to escape the alien ship, but also to free Randy Marsh. Luckily for us, those two objectives go hand in hand, but for the moment we can't actually do anything for Randy, so we'll have to leave for now and have a look around the ship. Right, we have a few enemies on the other side of the energy field here, but before we interact with those, let's head into the room on the right here. Inside, we can not only find a bit of loot, but also the first of several recordings.
Hello, is this recording? If you are hearing this, I've been taken hostage on some kind of alien ship. The aliens did unspeakable things to my rectal cavity. But I've broken free. I'm so scared and alone. I must find a way off this ship. Oh God, they're coming. Why am I standing here making an audio log? I don't have time for this. Leave me alone!
Seems like people before us were already in the same situation, and maybe we'll be able to find out a bit more about how to escape the ship. To make the upcoming fight a bit easier, we can eliminate two enemies right away. The first one by shooting the wires on the ceiling, and the second one by using the copper spell ability on the ensuing fire. Then we can finally teleport over to the other side and the third alien will attack. This fight is incredibly easy and can normally be won with just a single use of the Sling of David. However, in my case, the alien enemy lucks out and survives with only one hit point, so we quickly have to defend ourselves before dealing the final blow. And with that, we have defeated our first alien in combat, and as a reward we received the alien Raygun. And after looting the remaining bodies, we want to make sure to equip that right away, as at least for the alien ship it is probably the most powerful weapon you will have at this point. As you can see here, the gun deals shock damage, and that is exactly the type of damage the aliens are weak against, and that is why the gun is so immensely useful here. We also want to make sure to quickly switch out of our pajamas and back into our combat outfit. As you can imagine, the following fights will be slightly tougher than this last one.
Oh, hey! Oh yeah, yep, that's the Lambda containment block. Take that elevator next to you. The probe in your asshole should interface with it.
And that it does, we can simply interact with the blue panel here just like we were teleporting, and that activates the elevator and opens up our way onwards.
Great, you're in! You're looking for a security console. Should be one above you in probe maintenance and another below you in the atmospheric processor. Yeah, I know this stuff. Can't remember which one you want though. Been a while since I did this.
Alright, this next part is a bit of a platformy puzzle, so to say, but it can actually be solved without a single fight apart from the one at the very end. To achieve that, however, things need to be done in a particular order, otherwise there will be a lot of backchecking involved. Now, the elevator that we came out of is located on the middle area of the room. That means at the very beginning we already have the choice of going upwards or downwards. Personally, I don't know whether or not it makes a difference, but make sure that once you decide for one direction, you stick to it. I decided to go to the upper level first, simply because after trying both ways, I kind of felt like the game wants you to go there first. And now that we've taken care of both enemies and opened the door at the end, let's listen to another audio log.
Day 2. So hungry. I've searched for food, but the only thing I've found are other people's annoying, useless audio logs. Why did they bother when they clearly were in terrible danger? Each audio log I find is more irrelevant and boring than the last. I must keep looking for a way to survive.
Oh god. Oh god, I got an itch. Oh god, that is the worst. Oh. Oh.
Alright, we also just quickly teleported into a room with a bit more loot, and we can now go through that door that we just opened a few moments ago, and have a first short interaction with Randy.
Great, you're there. See if you can free me from that console. Probably not though. It's incredibly advanced alien technology. No way some kid could work it.
So, no way a kid could work it, Randy. Really?
Keep going, I think you're onto something. I knew I could trust you. Keep it up. I'm still stuck. Better try the other console.
And that other console that Randy speaks of is of course on the level below.
Okay, let's try the other console. God, I hope this works.
Before we can interact with that second console though, let's listen to one more audio log.
Day 4. I've looked everywhere, but I can't find anything to eat. Or a clue to get me off the ship. Just more audio logs. They're everywhere. For some reason, I listen to every minute of every one of them, thinking there'd be some useful information, but it's like they're just filler. Useless filler. They're filler that's driving me to madness.
Alright, in the meantime, we have quickly eliminated one more alien, and we're now about to go for number 2, who we can eliminate by activating the fan here. With both enemies taken out, we can now safely move into that glass tunnel, and once we're inside, we want to go all the way over to the right, because that is where we can find a bit more loot, another audio log, and that all-important second console.
Day 7. Okay, I did find one audio log that was mildly amusing. A woman trapped on this ship left an audio log about some papers she had left in an alien cabinet, and she told me the code was 776. That was kind of cool because I didn't know the code before that. Though when I opened the cabinet, there was only some kind of power-up I didn't really need.
Score! Aliens hate electricity.
Alright, let's interact with console number 2, although this one is not quite as easy as the first one.
There! I think that... Oh! You gotta be close! Come on, try again!
And don't even try to repeat that, it is in fact impossible.
Oh! No! Okay! Next time's gotta be the turn! Give it all you got! Yeah, you've got to keep trying! I believe in you!
Finally though, the game gives us a break here, and we get one step closer to escaping.
Okay, that one doesn't work either. Head back towards the elevator. Okay, I didn't want you to have to do this, but there's one more console you can try in that room across the bridge. The alien who works there is really tough, so be careful and remember to use electricity.
Now after reaching the elevator again, we quickly want to upgrade our alien Raygun, as we have just found an energy crystal that does additional shock damage, and as you can imagine, that will be quite useful. We can now once again take out 2 of the 3 enemies ahead of us already, the first one by dropping a monitor on him, and the second one with a nice dose of electricity. With number 3 then, however, we have no other choice but to fight.
Move.
Once again, because he's just a single enemy, the alien chief of security is not that hard to defeat. As you can see, our Raygun already does a nice amount of damage against him, but using our maxed out Sling of David ability is still a lot more effective. And so, after one shot from the gun and 2 rounds with the sling, our enemy falls, and we can now access the third and final console in the area.
Hey, that did it! The force field's down! Come on back and we can get out of here!
Alright, that seems to have done the trick and we could now return to Randy to free him, but there is now actually one more thing we can do before that. Because in the middle of this room right here, a hatch has opened up, and we want to go down there to not only find the last audio log, but also a surprise enemy.
Success! I found something that looks to be food. It's some sort of green fluorescent goo. I'm gonna have to try and eat some. It's not so bad. It's tangy and nutty. Would probably go well with a... Hey, what's happening to me? What's it? Eet some manuscribo, it's giving order!
Okay, introducing the Alien Conspiracy Hobo. If you're not aware, this is the guy that made all of those recordings, and after eating some strange green glue, he has apparently not only turned German, but also into a zombie. Now, as you can see, with an armor rating of 77, this guy is well protected, and that means both our close and long-range weapons won't be that effective. Instead, we will simply go back to the Sling of David, as we have enough power points and enough power point regeneration to use that at least 4 times consecutively in this fight, and that on its own should be enough to defeat this guy. By the way, this fight is completely optional and can be missed, but not only is it a great way to get a few more blocks in, it also rewards you with a unique piece of equipment at the end, and in true completionist fashion, we of course do not want to miss that. And here we can now go for the last round with the Sling of David, which then marks the end of the fight. We are now rewarded with 59 experience points and the tinfoil hat, and that is the unique piece of equipment I just talked about. By the way, if you're going for all achievements, it is also necessary to grab every piece of equipment, as the full arsenal achievement requires you to collect all the weapons and costumes available in the game.
Great, you made it! Okay, use this panel here and we can all go home!
Now, before we use the panel to free Randy, we want to shoot down the lights here, as all 6 of those in the room can be destroyed and will drop a bit of junk. As part of another achievement, we can't sell that at the moment, but at the very end of the game, when we have that achievement, it will allow us to get a bit more cash. And we can now once again play the button minigame here. This one's slightly more challenging than the previous ones, but beating it still shouldn't be any trouble.
Oh, you did it! Oh, thanks, kid. I don't know who you are or if you're real, but consider me your friend. Until we meet again!
Alright, Randy is now our friend, and more importantly, we're able to collect the white power crystal. And just now I realized that it has white power in the name. Well, anyway, this crystal is our way out of here, as it will activate the final elevator on the ship. Before we get to that, however, let's quickly loot one more chest here, this one giving us the unique alien probe weapon. After using the crystal, we can then activate the elevator with the alien probe and take it up to the final part of the level, where before heading into the boss fight we can also collect our 15th Chinpokemon. And that unlocks the Chinpoko Loco achievement, as we now have half of the collection already completed. Alright, here we are with the boss fight of the alien ship. It's us all on our own against 2 alien pilots, and the 2 of them have also brought an alien defense matrix with them. And that is actually the thing we want to focus on first in this fight. The defense matrix will shield our enemies here, and we really won't be able to do much damage until it's taken out. Luckily for us, the defense matrix is completely unarmored, and on top of that it's also weak to shock damage, which makes the alien Raygun the perfect weapon to use here. Now alternatively, it's possible to use the Sling of David to take it down a bit quicker, but I would actually like to save that for the two alien pilots, as using the Sling of David will allow us to deal damage to both of them at the same time. And not only does the Sling of David much more damage than any other weapon or ability we have at the moment, but it also does that to two enemies simultaneously, and that is why I think it's safe to say that at this point it is our most powerful ability. And I think it's understandable that I don't want to waste it early in the fight. By the way, this fight is also an excellent opportunity to work towards the Skilled Defender achievement, as the aliens here have a tendency to shoot you at least twice, maybe even 3 times per attack, and so perfectly blocking all of those attacks can quickly get your counter up. However, even if you were able to block everything here, which for the record I was not, be prepared to use the occasional health potion here and there. After all, they are abundant throughout the game world, and being entirely on your own, it is very possible for the aliens to kill you here, even if you barely make any mistakes. However, at this point the tide of the combat has already turned in our favor, as we are close to eliminating both of our enemies. And the first one here actually flees combat, which is something that can happen apparently, leaving his co-pilot all on his own.
Move!
And even though he inflicts a large amount of damage and sets us on fire now, he still won't be able to change anything about the outcome of this fight.
Move! Yes? At what location? How many people in the town? Get in there and cover it up. This could change everything. Get everyone moving. We've got another UFO crash.
Alright, here we are. We have completed the Alien Abduction quest and a new day in South Park has begun. Waking up on this morning also completes the first day in South Park achievement, and that means we are now ready for new adventures here on day 2. And in the cutscene we already saw that some things are apparently brewing, so I'm excited to see how the aftermath of the nightly events plays out. At this point also a quick info, I will be on holiday for the next week, so there won't be an episode until the week after that. For those of you who also watch the NBA 2K18 series, the same is true for that one as well. There won't be any new videos for the next week, and then on the 20th of November everything will go back to normal. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, I'd be happy if you could leave a thumbs up, and as always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.